Hi, this is Teacher J and welcome to Minds tutorial. So our lesson today is about changing percent into fraction. Ready ka na ba na matuto on how to change percent into fraction? So now let's go. Okay, so we have here a problem. What is 0.12%, or we can also read this as 0.12% in fraction? And of course, we have to express our answer in simplest form. Okay? So, but before that, we have to understand what is percent. Percent comes from the Latin word means percentum. What is that in English meaning? That is by 100 or per 100. So, 0.12%, we can also write this way. 0.12 per 100, right? Because percent is per 100. Or we can write this way, 0.12 over 100. Okay? Now, this is now in a fraction form. But remember, this is not yet our final answer. Why? Because our numerator is a decimal number. You have to express it first into a whole number. Paano ba natin i-express yung numerator into a whole number? Now, ang unang mong titingnan is how many decimal places are there. So if we're gonna count the number of decimal places, 0.12, we have 2 decimal places. So we have 1, 2. Okay? Now, how can we express that, or how can we change that into a whole number? We will just simply move the decimal point to the right. Depende kung ilan yung decimal places niya. Okay, since we have 2 decimal places in our numerator, so we will move the decimal point 2 times to the right. Okay, so let's count 1, 2. So this 0.12 becomes 12 and over. Now, since you moved the decimal point twice in the numerator, and of course, you also have to move the decimal point in the denominator 2 times also. But the denominator there is 100, right? So there is no decimal point. Okay? So actually, 100, there is a decimal point there, which is invisible. Hindi sa makikita. Where? Right after the 0. Right? Okay, so we will just move that decimal point 2 times to the right. So 1, 2. And since we don't have value here, we just put zeros there as a placeholder. Right? Or pwede mo na lang yung dagdagan na lang ng 2 zeros after a number. Okay? Since you move the decimal point 2 times to the right, you will just simply add 2 zeros in your denominator. So now this becomes, 100 becomes 10,000. Okay? So from 0.12 over 100 becomes 12 over 10,000. Now, this is not yet our final answer. Why? Because this is not yet in simplest form. So what are we going to do? We have to simplify this using or by applying divisibility rules. Okay? So how do we know that a number is divisible by 2, divisible by 3, divisible by 4, divisible by 5, and so on? Now, let us observe the numbers. Or we have to check whether the 2 numbers there, 12 and 10,000, are divisible to a particular number. Tingnan natin. 12 and 10,000, divisible by 2 ba siya? Pag titingnan natin, yes, it is divisible by 2. So, ibig sabihin, we can divide this 2 numbers by 2. Okay? Dahil kapag i-divide natin siya by 2, we have the answer which has no remainder. Okay? Or you can also think of another number. baka meron pang much bigger doon sa 2. Okay? How about 3? Divisible by 3 ba yung 12 and 10,000? Let us check. Okay? So, 12 is divisible by 3. Okay? Because if you divide 12 by 3, that is 4. Or you can also apply the divisibility rule, which is you have to add all the digits, 1 and 2, that is 3. If the answer is divisible by 3, that means that number is divisible by 3. Okay? So since 3 is divisible by 3, so 12 is divisible by 3. But 10, is it, 10,000, is it divisible by 3? No. Okay? So 10,000 is not divisible by 3, so we cannot use number 3. How about 4? Okay. Ano ba yung divisibility by 4? If the last two digits of a number, if the last two digits of the number is divisible by 4, that means that number is divisible by 4. Let's say 12. Okay? So 12 is just a 2-digit number, right? So we will just simply divide 12 by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is, yes, divisible by 4. Now, is 10,000 divisible by 4? What are the two last digits? We have 0 and 0, right? Okay. I said a while ago that if the last two digits of a number is divisible by 4, that means that number is divisible by 4. But here, 10,000 is yung last two digits niya are zeros. Is the another way that ma-determine natin if the number is divisible by 4. If the last two digits of a number are zeros. Okay? Or the number ends with 2 zeros. So that is divisible by 4. Now, is 10,000 ends with 2 zeros? Yes. So, meaning 10,000 is divisible by 4. Okay? So, 12 and 10,000 can be divided by 4. Okay. So, let's try. 12, we will write it here. Here, 12 over 10,000. Okay? So, we divide the numerator and denominator by 4. And also here 4. Okay? So, 12 divided by 4, that is 3. And 10,000 divided by 4, oh, it's a quite big number. Okay. You can also do this one. Okay? Pwede mo, i-divide mo muna yung 10 by 4. 10 by 4, 10 divided by 4 is hindi perfect. Because if you divide 10 by 4, we have the answer of 2 with remainder 2. Dapat walang remainder. So now, let's add another 0. 100. So, 100. Pwede ba natin ma-divide by 4 yung 100? Yes. Because 100 divided by 4, that is 25. So, we write 25 here. And we will just simply add the remaining 2 zeros there. 1, 2. Okay? So, we have now the answer, which is 3 over 2,500. But the question is it a simplest form? Okay, let us check. Kung 3 over 2,500 is in the simplest form na, dapat we have to use the divisibility rule. We will check if the answer is divisible by 2, divisible by 3, and so on. Now, 3 and 2,500 divisible by 2? No. 3 is not divisible by 2. 2,500 is divisible by 2. So, dapat both numerator and denominator is divisible by 2. How about 3? Yes, 3 is divisible by 3. Because 3 divided by 3 is 1 without remainder. Now, let us check. If 2,500 is divisible by 3. Okay? So, how are we going to know if the number is divisible by 3? You will just simply add all the digits. So, we have digit 2. We have digit 5. And digit 0. If we're gonna add them together, that is 7. Is 7 divisible by 3? No. So, that means 2,500 is not divisible by 3. Okay? Of course, we know that that is not divisible by 4 and 5 and so on. Why? Because we have this 3, we have that 3 there in the numerator. It is 3 already. So, any number greater than 3, of course, hindi na siya pwede. Right? This is already our final answer. That is 3 over 2,500. So, 0.12% is equal to 3 over 2,500 in fraction. So, yun lang. That is how you convert, or that is how you change percent into fraction. And I hope na may natutunan ka in this lesson. And I hope hindi mo malilimutan ito. At nakakatulong ito doon sa, especially kapag if you are, if your lesson or yung lesson sa school niyo is all about this, changing percent into fraction, I believe makakatulong to sa'yo. Okay? So, thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. But before that, do not forget to subscribe my channel. Please like this video and of course, do not forget to share para marami tayong matutulungan. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye!